Caleb, kind of similar to what I just asked Taj, but playing with Austin Simmons, how different has that been, and what's your relationship like with him?
Yeah, I think we have a great relationship. I think Austin is a really cool guy. We all have a similar mindset of just wanting to get better every day, and so I think playing with him, playing with the lefty, he has a lot of zip on it, but I think he can really sling it. And so obviously it's very beneficial to play with him, and I think he just getting me better every day.
This is our first time chatting with you. Just what made Ole Miss the right fit for you in the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think ultimately I just wanted to be somewhere where I felt, wanted and needed and felt comfortable. And so obviously having a relationship with Ole Miss out of high school, them being my second choice, it made sense for me to, come back up here and really just get to know Coach McDonald and, get back up here to see Coach Kiffin and really just talk to them. So, yeah, that made it easier.
What's that like, reigniting, I guess, that recruitment process when you were familiar with them, like you said, during the high school process?
Yeah, it just made it easier ultimately. I mean, I came up here. I knew everyone, basically the whole coaching staff. I knew a lot of players. I knew a lot of the town. So it just made it an easy transition, really, just knowing everything and knowing what I was going into.
Lane talked about how you've adjusted to just being a full-time receiver so far. Was that something that appealed to you, just focusing on one position?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at Alabama I only played receiver, and so I've always played receiver. I've really never played tight end, and so I think that's like a kind of a thing. So I mean, obviously it's just come fluid to me, just to been on the outside, and but I've been trying to play more, just be able to move everywhere around the field and make plays wherever I need to make plays. So yeah.
How much of that, when you were in the portal, was the conversation about how you would be used? I guess, how important is it to you to be a pure wideout?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make plays, honestly. I mean, obviously they talked about how they could use me all around the field, and so, put me in the slot, put me in the hip, outside wide, put me anywhere, and I'm just trying to make plays. So I think just having those conversations with them, being told how I could get the ball in my hands ultimately is what I wanted to hear, and so that really helped.
And Lane was just in here. You said that you made a couple good plays in his mind that he could remember. How have you felt like you've transitioned on the field, and have you hit the ground running in your mind with practices and scrimmage?
Yeah, for sure. I think the hardest part just coming here was just obviously getting the playbook and stuff down, understanding the concepts, starting to get the little details down. Obviously, my goal is to come in here and get 1% better every day. It's very easy to get in a very complacent, place and, a spot in your mind where you don't feel like you need to do anything better. But I'm just trying to come in here and get better. So I feel like I have kind of adjusted well, but obviously there's always more work to do, more stuff to do.
There's a lot of new faces for this receivers room this year with the transfer portal, you and Stribling and some other guy. Is it in some ways like a freshman year all over again, all y'all having to kind of acclimate, not being teammates the year before?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that, but I've really have adjusted well with all those guys. We've built close relationships. Traylon Ray from West Virginia, that's my guy, that's my best friend. Me and Stribling hang out all the time. Trey Wallace, Deuce, I'm all cool with those guys. And then, guys like Winnie, Caden Lee, they all are cool guys. So it's all just a big family in the receiver room right now, so it's good.
Just out of pure curiosity, a little bit off topic, kind of walk me through the timeline, if you don't mind, of kind of post-signing day, because I think you enrolled at Alabama in January, and I guess that was around the time when Nick Saban announced, his retirement and all that, and having to stay the course of Kalen DeBoer, and just, how crazy was that time period to just kind of walk through, especially as a prospect starting your college career?
Yeah, it was definitely crazy. Just having Coach Saban in your house 2 weeks before, like, the bowl game and coming up there on campus, and then, like, a month later, him retiring. But I think what Coach DeBoer and them are doing up there is going to be really good. I have nothing but love for Alabama. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're developing players. And so, it was crazy times back then, having to adjust to all that, the coaching changes. But, they helped me really well develop, and I was able to thrive under them too.
You mentioned Caden. How has he been kind of the one returner welcoming all you guys into the room?
Yeah, Caden's been helpful, just been able to, like, ask him stuff about plays and just ask him about anything you need to know, details on a certain play or route or something like that. Him just being in here, you can ask him questions. So it's been definitely helpful, him being in here as one of the only returners for real.
Caleb, if you can give a message to Ole Miss fans that may not be too familiar with your game, what can they expect out of you in terms of your work ethic and what they can see in Saturdays moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think they can expect a lot of plays being made. Obviously, I didn't get to showcase that really last year, but I feel like my goal is just for fans is just I'm going to be on a straight path to get better every day, and there's nothing I want more than just to go out there and really make plays on Saturdays and just get Oxford back in like the top spot again, really. So I'm just excited to be here and excited to make plays. So, there you go.